अब जो मैं कहूँगा that will make me extremely unpopular.
40% of the country has fatty liver.
That's correct.
Half of them don't even know about it.
You know what? 2 binges in a month can pack up your liver. You don't have to be drinking for years.
What about protein powders? ये मुझे फैटी लिवर स्टेज 1 है. ऐसी क्या 3 या 4 चीज़ें मैं कर सकती हूँ? A lot of people do self-supplementation, right? They just go to Amazon, buy some supplements for themselves.
Brian Johnson is taking 50 supplement tablets and Peter Diamandis is taking so many tablets. तो इस तरह तो नहीं करना चाहिए. You have to be scientific about it, you know.
जो non-alcoholic fatty liver disease के cases हैं, वो अब ज़्यादा है alcoholic से.
That half the people who present with severe alcoholic issues are younger than 35 years of age.
किस टाइम पर एक ट्रांसप्लांट के लिए जाना चाहिए? हाउ शुड वन चूज अ हॉस्पिटल फॉर देयर ट्रांसप्लांट?
You'll be so shocked to know.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Namya podcast. Today we have Dr. Arvinder Singh Soin. A lot of people already know him. He's Padma Shri awardee, has done over 12,000 liver surgeries, over 5,000 liver transplants. He's also called the Liver Man of India because he was the first doctor in India to do a cadaveric transplant back in 1998. Right now he works as a director for Medanta Hospital, Gurgaon. With 40 years of experience, he's somebody who can teach us so much today. We talk a lot about why 40% population in our country today have fatty liver. We talk a lot about health, diet, what are the common mistakes that most of us are making, why alcohol is just not the only problem that India has today. It is so much to do with our metabolism, our diets, and what we are eating in the name of food. We also talk a lot about transplantation in India. We touch upon how to make a decision for a transplant, what are the post-operative care that you need to take, and a lot more. This is something that is helpful for literally everyone. So do watch this podcast till the end. Dr. Arvinder Singh Soin, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Welcome to the Namya podcast.
It's good to be here, Ridhima. Thank you.
Thank you for sparing some time for us. I think it's a pleasure for us to have you here. 12,000 liver surgeries, about 5,000 liver transplant, being a Padma Shri awardee, a spectacular 40 years of experience. There are 2 things that I want to understand from you. To be able to come at the top of your game, I'm sure there is something that everybody has to be able to get there, right? What is that one thing that you feel got you here? And what is that one learning that you have in these enlarged 40 years of experience?
So let me tell you something. There is never the one thing.
Okay.
There's always multiple things that work towards getting you where you want to get, right? But the foremost is the zeal, the calling, the passion. You just have to be relentless in the pursuit of your passion, in being what you want to be, in doing what you want to do. So when I say that, this journey started way back when let's not take you back to my childhood and tell you all stuff
We
about
love to, we don't mind that.
how and why I wanted to be a doctor. But okay, if you want to get into that, so I think I was 4 or 5 years old, and my grandfather used to be a doctor as well, and I once went to his clinic and I saw a couple who were possibly in their 50s. They came, and as soon as they saw him in his clinic, they started crying.
Okay.
And I was a little child, I didn't know what was going on. And apparently, I was explained later that they were a couple whose daughter had been saved by my grandfather when she was just 3 or 4 years old.
Okay.
And now they had come to give him the invite for her wedding. So I mean, this was explained to me much, much later, like maybe when I was 10, 12 years of age,
Yeah.
right? But those things stay with you. So it was quite a unique kind of feeling that he must have got, I guess, when those guys presented him the wedding card of someone he had saved. And then, you know, he had this plate on his desk which said, I treat, he cures. So these are the things that stayed with me. So there was no like eureka moment where I think I suddenly realized I wanted to be a doctor, but obviously I was influenced by him. And my other paternal grandfather, who was also a doctor, my parents are not. So anyway, somewhere along the line I wanted to be a doctor, then I became a doctor, and then once I became a doctor at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, I wanted to do stuff with my hands because I kind of understood in my mid to late teens through high school and then through med school that I was more of a doer. So, and apparently when you operate on people, you sort out their problem and they go home and they're happy ever after. Of course, that's not always the case. But, so that's why I became a surgeon.
Right.
And then I was at AIMS, and once a patient with liver cancer came and we operated on him. When I said we, I meant my professor and myself, and because I was a junior trainee during those days. And it was quite a tumultuous surgery, very bloody. Eventually the patient did okay and went home. But that taught me one thing, that one, it was very exciting to actually do something challenging, and two, liver surgery was in its infancy in India at that time, and I'm talking about 80s. Tumultuous in the sense that there was lots of ups and downs during the surgery. It took us 8 or 9 hours, and eventually you know, there was lots of blood loss, blood transfusion. I don't want to scare people, but that's 45 years ago. I'm not 40 years ago. I'm not talking about now. So then I understood that it's pretty exciting to save someone's life by doing some complex surgery. And I also understood that liver surgery per se was in its infancy. It wasn't very well developed at that time. So that is again one incident which I remember, which probably fueled my interest in liver surgery. Which is then I decided to go to the UK. And after 11 years at AIMS, I went to Cambridge University, UK, where I wanted to train in liver surgery. And then I understood that liver surgery was done in liver transplant centers, because the two things go together. And that's how I became a transplant surgeon. And then I came back to India, and that's the best decision of my life. Because
I did read. I was researching about you. I read that somewhere, that how you came back. And
so that was good. I don't want to, again take you through all that. But that was pretty exciting too. Maybe I should say a word or two about that. So,
of course.
So my wife and I were in Cambridge University, had been there for years. I had been offered, after all my FRCS and qualification and training and everything, I was offered a position in Department of Surgery at Cambridge University as a lecturer in transplant surgery, which was a very big deal.
Yeah, of course.
And my wife was pursuing her PhD at the time. And then Dr. Pratap Reddy came to UK, scouting for doctors to fill up his hospital, which he had just started in the mid-90s in Delhi, Apollo Hospital. And he called a bunch of us from all across UK in different specialties and interviewed us, and long and short, he offered me a job as a transplant surgeon. He says, I know Dr. Soin, you're doing great work at Cambridge, but then why don't you come back home to India, Delhi, where we've got a state-of-the-art hospital, and liver transplant doesn't happen in India, so why don't you come back and start it? And I went back home and told my wife, and we were very India-philic kind of people, very happy to go back to India, even though we were in the midst of pretty exciting academic opportunities.
Especially at that time. Now things have changed drastically.
Now things are very different, yes. So again, we returned. My wife finished with an MPhil, not with a PhD, because she cut that short. And
is she equally happy to come back with you?
Very happy.
Okay.
And so we came back, and then we came back in 1998, and then I happened to do the country's first successful liver transplant in November 1998.
Yeah, which we all know, and hence you're called the liver man of India.
So that's how it all happened. And now it's been a long journey, and like you said, nearly 5,000 liver transplants and lots of liver surgeries. And I've also had the satisfaction of training a lot of people, and now second, third generation of my students is emerging and running centers, which means not just the people I trained, but the people they trained, you know. So, yeah, it's been a very satisfying journey.
Wow. And, you know, after such a long journey, what do you want to do now? What is your...
Very interesting question. I still love my surgeries, so I operate typically 3 to 5 hours a day. We do 1 or 2 liver transplants every day.
Wow.
And we have a large team, but of course I do important bits of most transplants when I'm in town. And of course the rest of the team also does the cases. So, so I enjoy that, and I'm going to continue to do that as far as I can see. But I also want to get into the other end of the spectrum. I've been treating critically ill patients all my life. Patients who are dying of liver failure, liver cancer, and rescuing, with the grace of God, most of them.
Yeah.
But I now want to work at the preventive end of the spectrum also. Like I said, the surgery will continue.
Right.
But I also want to work at the other end of the spectrum where I prevent people from getting there. So they don't get liver failure, so we can prevent them from getting not just liver failure, but any kind of chronic disease that kills patients, that kills people.
Which brings me to the first question. 40% of the country has fatty liver.
That's correct.
I mean, if it just goes up, that's like literally half the country has fatty liver. I mean...
it is so sad. Yeah.
It is a very astonishing number. And I'm sure half of them don't even know about it. So, I want to understand, and I'm going to try also use a lot of Hindi so that it reaches to everyone. तो ऐसे क्या सिम्टम्स हैं जो कि बहुत ही शायद पहचान में नहीं आते, या अगर आज मैं नॉर्मल हूँ तो ऐसे क्या सिम्टम्स हो सकते हैं 2 या 3 जो कि फैटी लिवर इंडिकेट करते हैं?
देखिए, फैटी लिवर के ऐसे ज़्यादा सिम्टम्स नहीं होते हैं क्योंकि लिवर में बहुत रिजर्व है. लिवर इज़ एन ऑर्गन जिसमें अगर जब तक 65-70% डैमेज नहीं होता है उसका कोई सिम्टम्स, कोई साइंस, कोई पता नहीं चलता है. तो इसीलिए जब हमारे पास पेशेंट्स आते हैं और वो हमें कहते हैं कि डॉक्टर साहब आप कह रहे हैं कि हमारा लिवर इतना ख़राब है लेकिन 3 महीने पहले तक तो हम बिल्कुल स्वस्थ थे, ऐसे 3 महीने में कैसे ख़राब हो गया? तो इट्स नॉट दैट देव लॉस्ट देयर लिवर फंक्शन इन 3 months. द थिंग इज़ दैट पहले उनका लिवर जब 50-60% डैमेज था तो उनको कोई भी सिम्टम नहीं था, कुछ भी नहीं था. और आहिस्ता आहिस्ता जब 60-65% तक डैमेज आया तब उनको पता लगने लगा कि उनके लिवर में प्रॉब्लम है. तो ये जो सिम्टम्स जो आप कह रही हैं कि क्या इंडिकेटर्स हैं जिससे लोगों को पता चलेगा, इसको थोड़ा सा हम एक और नज़रिए से देखते हैं. कैसे लोगों को फैटी लिवर होता है ये समझते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
क्योंकि जो सिम्टम्स हैं वो लिवर एडवांस लिवर डैमेज के हैं, लिवर फेलियर के हैं. वो कोई भी कॉज से लिवर डैमेज होता है उसके सिम्टम्स सेम रहते हैं. तो कैसे लोगों को फैटी लिवर होता है? हो सकता है आप में और मुझ में एक को है क्योंकि 40% को
मेरे को नहीं है. आई एम गेसिंग आप भी काफी विजिलेंट हैं.
मुझे भी नहीं है. सो वी आर यू नो अनयूजुअल set of 2 people who both of who don't have fatty liver. Yeah, but on a serious note, उनको होता है जिनको मोटापा है. मोटापा है 10% जितना बॉडी वेट होना चाहिए हाइट के हिसाब से, एज के हिसाब से, उससे 10% से ज़्यादा, उसको मोटापा बोलते हैं. तो ऐसे लोगों को है. जिनके लिपिड्स यानी कोलेस्ट्रॉल लेवल्स डिरेंज्ड है उनको है. जिनको डायबिटीज़ है उनको है. जिनका लाइफस्टाइल पुअर है यानी कि कम सोना और जंक फूड खाना और बचपन से लेकर अभी तक खाते आना और शायद थोड़ा अल्कोहल भी लेना या बिना अल्कोहल के भी हो जाता है. तो ऐसे जो लोग हैं उनको फैटी लिवर होने के बहुत चांसेस हैं. तो अगर कोई इंसान इस कैटेगरी में फिट होता है कि या तो उनको मोटापा है या लिपिड्स ख़राब हैं, डायबिटीज़ है या डायबिटीज़ का नहीं पता है लेकिन फैमिली हिस्ट्री ऑफ डायबिटीज़ है और लाइफस्टाइल उनका पुअर है, एक्सरसाइज नहीं है, सोना कम है और जंक फूड खाना है, तो
जी।
ऐसे लोगों को एक अल्ट्रासाउंड और लिवर फंक्शन टेस्ट, ये बेसिक स्क्रीनिंग होती है. लिवर फंक्शन टेस्ट इज़ लाइक अ ब्लड टेस्ट,
राइट.
एंड अल्ट्रासाउंड ऑफ द एब्डोमेन शुड बी डन, और उसमें फैटी लिवर का पता लग जाता है.
ओके. ओके. बहुत सारे ऐसे लोगों को मैं जानती हूँ जो अपना ब्लड टेस्ट तो रेगुलरली कराते हैं, राइट, बट बहुत सारे लोग अल्ट्रासाउंड शायद बहुत रेगुलरली नहीं करवाते हैं. तो
जी.
कितने इंटरवल में अल्ट्रासाउंड होना चाहिए और कितने इंटरवल में ब्लड टेस्ट होना चाहिए?
देखिए, जो पीपल हु आर लेट्स से एट हाई रिस्क ऑफ हैविंग फैटी लिवर, जो अभी हमने डिस्क्राइब किया,
जी.
3-4 तरीके के जो लोग हैं, उनको तो हर 2 साल में एट अ यंगर एज, लाइक लेस देन 50, हर 2 साल में एक अल्ट्रासाउंड और LFT कराना चाहिए. ठीक है,
Which is very easily doable.
विच
2
इज़ वेरी
साल तो
ईजी,
is a very big window
वेरी चीप,
actually.
वेरी ईजी,
Yeah.
इसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लेकिन ओवर 50 एंड प्रीडिस्पोज टू हैविंग फैटी लिवर, दे शुड हैव अ ईयरली चेक.
Okay. Okay.
पीपल हु आर नॉट प्रीडिस्पोज, जिनको कोई भी रिस्क फैक्टर नहीं है, वो हर 5 साल में एक करा लेंगे तो भी ठीक है.
तो भी ठीक है. Okay.
तो ये एक जनरल फ्रीक्वेंसी है. और फिर जब अगर अल्ट्रासाउंड में फैटी लिवर आ गया, तो फिर ये देखना है कि वो फैटी लिवर केवल फैट ही है, विच इज़ बेसिकली द प्रेजेंस ऑफ फैट इन मोर देन 5% ऑफ द लिवर सेल्स.
Okay.
अप टू 5% इज़ नॉर्मल.
Normal.
उससे ज़्यादा होता है तो फिर उसको हम फैटी लिवर बोलते हैं. फैटी लिवर के कई स्टेजेस होते हैं, तो देखना ये है कि फैटी लिवर ही है या इन्फ्लेमेशन आ गई है उससे, यानी हेपेटाइटिस हो गई है.
Okay. और
किसी
कैसे फर्क पहचाना जाता है दोनों
तो
का?
उसके कुछ लक्षण हैं, कुछ लक्षण, हाँ लक्षण भी हैं, यानी सिम्टम्स हैं. कभी कभी राइट साइड में दर्द होना शुरू हो जाता है जब ज़्यादा फैटी लिवर हो या लिवर की इन्फ्लेमेशन हो, सूजन आए लिवर में, जिसको हेपेटाइटिस, हेपैट मीन्स लिवर, हेपेटाइटिस मीन्स इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ द लिवर.
Okay.
तो जब हेपेटाइटिस होता है तो अक्सर राइट साइड में डल पेन होता है. यहाँ पे लिवर इज हियर, सो इस एरिया में पेन हो सकता है.
Okay.
और जो लिवर टेस्ट होते हैं उसमें जो एंजाइम्स होते हैं लिवर की, वो थोड़ी सी एलिवेट हो जाती हैं.
अच्छा.
क्योंकि जब भी लिवर में इन्फ्लेमेशन आती है तो ट्रांसएमिनेजेस जो होती हैं, SGOT, SGPT, उनका लेवल बढ़ जाता
बढ़
है,
जाता है. Okay.
पर हमेशा नहीं बढ़ता है. तो ये, और तीसरी चीज़ जो करना चाहिए वो है फाइब्रोस्कैन. तो फाइब्रोस्कैन क्या है? फाइब्रोस्कैन एक स्कैन है लिवर का, जिसमें पता लगता है कि लिवर का फैट कितना है, उसमें डैमेज कितना है इन टर्म्स ऑफ फाइब्रोसिस. क्योंकि मैं आपको ये सारी टर्म्स बता रहा हूँ तो इसको एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ. पहले फैटी लिवर है, फिर इन्फ्लेमेशन है जिसको हेपेटाइटिस बोलते हैं, और फिर है जब भी कोई ऑर्गन डैमेज होता है तो उसकी जो हीलिंग होती है वो स्कारिंग से होती है.
जी.
जैसे स्किन में कट आता है, अगर डीप
जख्म
कट होता
बनता
है
है.
तो एक स्कार बनता है.
बिल्कुल.
इसी तरह अंदर के अंगों में भी जब डैमेज होता है तो हीलिंग के बाद स्कार बनता है. तो द डिग्री ऑफ स्कारिंग इज एस्टिमेटेड बाय अ फाइब्रोस्कैन.
Okay.
और स्कार को मेडिकल लैंग्वेज में फाइब्रोसिस बोलते हैं.
तो
तो
सिरोटिक लिवर बेसिकली.
तो फाइब्रोसिस जब ग्रेड 4 या 5 का हो जाता है तब उसको सिरोसिस बोलते हैं.
Okay.
तो ग्रेड्स 1 to 5 हैं और 1 to 6 हैं, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द क्लासिफिकेशन यू यूज़. तो अगर ग्रेड 1 फाइब्रोसिस है, मींस अर्ली स्कारिंग शुरू हो गई है. तो इसी तरह फाइब्रोस्कैन को अगर आप, जैसे अगर किसी को फैटी लिवर या और कोई लिवर डिजीज़ है और आप फाइब्रोस्कैन करके उनका देखते हैं कि आज ग्रेड 1 फाइब्रोसिस है या ग्रेड 2 है, तो फिर ईयरली तो एटलीस्ट होना चाहिए देखने के लिए कि वो प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है या रिग्रेस कर रहा है. लाइक अ स्कार or a deep scar of the skin, the scars of organs also never go away. Scars are scars.
Scars,
right? So, पर फाइब्रो जो अर्ली लेवल ऑफ स्कारिंग है, F1 फाइब्रोसिस, वो कभी कभी रिवर्सिबल हो जाती है. तो इसलिए फाइब्रोस्कैन का रेगुलरली करना इम्पॉर्टेंट हो जाता है इन पीपल हु हैव लिवर डैमेज विच इज़ बीन डिटेक्टेड बाय वन और द अदर मेथड लाइक LFT, like ultrasound or FibroScan.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, I gave you a very long answer, but उसका context नहीं बनता है ना. If I only tell you one thing, yeah.
100%. I also want to understand. मान लीजिए आज मेरा SGOT, SGPT elevated आ गया, जो बहुत लोगों का आ ही जाता है ना? तो ऐसी क्या 2 या 3 चीज़ें मुझे इमीडिएटली करनी चाहिए अगर मैं अल्कोहलिक नहीं हूँ?
So, अब लिवर की जो एंजाइम्स हैं उनके बढ़ने का भी बहुत सारे कारण होते हैं. मेडिसिन इज़ फुल ऑफ causes of this and causes of that and causes of the other, you know, like so बहुत सारे causes होते हैं. अब वो cause है, आपने कहा कि अल्कोहलिक नहीं है, पर अगर आप ओकेजनली अल्कोहल कंज्यूम करते हैं तो भी वो हो सकता है. अगर आपको फैटी लिवर है तो भी हो सकता है. अगर आपको किसी एंटीबायोटिक्स या एंटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी मेडिसिन या आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन, सॉरी आई डोंट वांट टू, बट समटाइम्स इट कैन हैपन.
आई नो, आई हैव लर्नड सो मेनी केसेस जहां ओवर कंजम्पशन ऑफ अश्वगंधा, गिलोय, एंड इट जस्ट हैम्पर्ड देयर जॉन्डिस.
Any drug, exactly, any drug that damages the liver can cause elevation of SGPT. Okay. But that drug could be an allopathic drug, or it could be an Ayurvedic drug, it could be a herbal drug, whatever, you know. So ये है. और फिर फिजिकल इंजरी से हो सकता है elevation of SGOT-PT. So SGOT-PT are what? They are enzymes which are lying inside the liver cells, which are called hepatocytes. So whenever they are damaged, they are released, and that is what elevates their level in the blood.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So I'll just tweak the question then.
Sure.
मान लीजिए मुझे फैटी लिवर स्टेज 1 है या बहुत इनिशियल स्टेज पे है, ऐसी क्या 3 या 4 चीज़ें मैं कर सकती हूँ जहाँ से ये रिवर्स जल्दी हो पाए?
ओके. सो अगर आप कुछ भी अल्कोहल लेते हैं तो बिल्कुल बंद कर दीजिए. अब जो मैं कहूँगा दैट विल मेक मी एक्सट्रीमली अनपॉपुलर.
Okay. I don't think anything can make you unpopular, but please go ahead.
That is kind. That is kind. Thank you. But you know what I'm saying in terms of recommending
of course,
right kind of nutritional intake, right kind of diet. It's not very exciting because sweet is bad for the liver, right? And sweet in any form. Sugar है, jaggery है, honey है, brown sugar है, white sugar है, आम है, they're all the same.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right? Sweet is sweet. So sweet should be stopped or minimized. I would say I typically say 80%. You've heard of the 80% rule?
Yeah.
That you do everything 80% right.
Yeah.
You are going to be in a good place.
Right.
इसका मतलब है कि अगर आप 10 यूनिट ऑफ स्वीट चीज़ें लेते हैं तो उसके 8 कम कर दीजिए, 2 ही लीजिए, तो दैट्स नॉट अ बैड आइडिया. ठीक है. फिर फ्राइड फूड बिल्कुल कम करना है. प्रोसेस्ड फूड इज़ वेरी बैड फॉर द लिवर. Right? Anything canned, anything, even Tetra Paks, most of them say no preservatives, but you know. So the method of their storage increases the fructose content in them, and fructose is bad. It's there in all the sodas, मतलब जो cokes वगैरह होते हैं. तो ये सारी चीज़ें लिवर के लिए ख़राब हैं. और बाकी लिवर के लिए हाई प्रोटीन डाइट अच्छा है, बीन्स अच्छे हैं, दाल अच्छा है, आमंड्स आर गुड, वॉलनट्स आर गुड, अखरोट अच्छी चीज़ है. और तो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं. और बाकी होल ग्रेन फूड, यानी कि ब्राउन ब्रेड, ब्राउन रोटी, यू नो, तो ये सारी चीज़ें अच्छी हैं. रागी का आटा अच्छा है. तो ग्रीन वेजिटेबल्स और सब्जीज तो अच्छी हैं ही. और अगर नॉन वेज कोई खाता है तो फिश इज़ ओके एंड चिकन इज़ ओके, बट there is a huge movement of whether the kind of chicken we get is good, because वो organic versus artificial stuff and injected chickens and all those things, right? But basically white meat ठीक है. Red meat बहुत occasionally ठीक है. In terms of giving for muscle building and strength it is better, but उसमें जो kind of trans fats होते हैं they are not good. Right? So overall red meat is not a good idea. लिवर के लिए अच्छा नहीं है. तो मैंने बहुत सारी चीज़ें बताई हैं खाने में.
What about protein powders?
So protein powders generally are okay and safe for the liver and safe for the kidney.
Okay.
ठीक है. अब most protein powders जो होते हैं उनके वो nutritional sheet होती है पीछे. तो उसमें लिखा होता है कि fully whey हैं, fully plant हैं, उसके अंदर दूध है नहीं है, लैक्टोज है नहीं है, कितना कार्बोहाइड्रेट है, एडेड शुगर है नहीं है, सॉरी
heavy metals and sugar additional is the biggest problem.
Exactly. So तो स्पेसिफिकली जिंक कंटेंट, लेड और जिंक कंटेंट हाई होता है इनमें.
हाई होता है.
ठीक है ना. तो अब मैं किसी ब्रांड को तो रिकमेंड करूँगा नहीं, पर अगर आप 3-4 ब्रांड्स जो एस्टैब्लिश ब्रांड्स हैं मार्केट में उनको कंपेयर करेंगे, उनका ISO सर्टिफिकेशन देखेंगे, तो ये सारी चीज़ें आप कर सकते हैं. इससे बियॉन्ड तो ना आप जानते हैं ना मैं जानता हूँ कि एक्चुअली years of consuming A brand versus B brand, what's it going to do? कोई ऐसी scientific study तो हो नहीं पाती है. आपके कम से कम ज़्यादा नहीं तो 25 ब्रांड तो है ही हैं.
हो रही है, बट बहुत ही
Amazon में जाएंगे तो वहाँ भी 10-12 ब्रांड्स हैं. तो अब how can you have a study of one against the other against the third? वो तो हो ही नहीं सकती है ना.
And they're all in the same bucket, but anyway, let's.
So that's not even possible.
Of course.
But I'm saying that you have to be sensible. अगर आप सबका lead content देखें, zinc content देखें, और पीछे information देखें, और you go into it with your eyes open, then I would trust any of the top 8-10 brands, as long as you have the complete nutritional information. You should not be taking, unless you're like a athlete of high performance or like an international or a national weightlifter.
Right.
Generally speaking, more than 50 grams of protein shake, 50 grams protein worth of protein powder or protein shake is not really needed for anyone.
Got it.
जैसे normally protein shakes में single scoop में 25, 18, 20, 24 grams of protein होती है. उस तरह के 2 helpings तो ठीक हैं रेगुलर लोगों के लिए जो जिम करते हैं, स्पोर्ट्स खेलते हैं. If you're playing at an international level, you need 6 of them a day, वो अलग चीज़ है. But not for usual regular people.
Got it.
Because if you and I do not actually process that protein, so majority of it is going to go waste. It's not even going to get absorbed.
Right.
First of all.
Right.
So the rule of protein is that you have to break it up into all your meals. अगर आपने प्रोटीन पाउडर लेना है तो प्रोटीन पाउडर लीजिए, फिर 2-3 घंटे के बाद आप अपने किसी मील में प्रोटीन लीजिए. सो टिपिकली इफ यू आर टेकिंग let's say 150 grams of protein, which is pretty good for most people, right? Then you should break it up into 3 or 4 consumptions of 30 to 50 grams each.
Got it.
You know?
I also wanted to understand, a lot of people do self-supplementation, right? They just go to Amazon, buy some supplements for themselves, and I know so many people who are on some or the other supplementation.
Sure.
What, according to you, should be checked in a supplement, considering that there is now data related to supplements damaging liver?
So supplement is a very simple word, but it encompasses a lot of stuff, right? So supplements can also be magnesium supplements, omega-3 supplements, vitamin C, vitamin D. These are okay. अगर आप इनकी requirements, the usual recommended requirements per day, अगर आप उसको follow करें, so you must understand that most of these are there in most balanced diets to the extent of 1/4 to half of what you need every day, at least. Some are there to the full extent also.
Okay.
So please understand that all the vitamin D you need and all the vitamin C you need is not just coming from supplements.
Right.
It's there in your diet.
Of course.
Right? And some of these are there. If you take a lot of juices, you don't need any vitamin C supplement, right? For example,
Right.
if you take a lot of seafood, you don't need any omega-3.
Right.
So ये तो सोचने की बात है कि because Brian Johnson is taking
Of course,
50 supplement tablets and Peter Diamandis is taking so many tablets. So मुझे भी लेना है, तो इस तरह तो नहीं करना चाहिए. You have to be scientific about it. Now ChatGPT is available for everyone, and everyone is on ChatGPT.
Absolutely.
Or any other form of LLM, right? Just go to the LLM. Just say what is a balanced supplement plan for a 50-year-old.
But that's also going to recommend you for the brands who are doing good SEO. So that's also very tricky.
Not necessarily. So there are now LLMs which are there. I mean, most of the LLMs now they have annotations, which means they have references.
Yeah.
So you can look up the references. So if you do a deep dive and not follow Instagram for everything that it says, Insta is very beautifully presented, and you can go hours on it for every day, and you try to follow some of that stuff. But the better thing to do is at least spend half of that time on ChatGPT or equivalent and get a balanced plan. Say that I'm a 50-year-old man. My weight is this, my height is this, my last set of parameters is this. As my, let's say, lifestyle physician.
Are you saying that we should replace a doctor?
No. This is in place of self-medication.
Of course, no. I mean, I was just on the lighter side.
I'll tell you that story also.
Okay.
So please suggest a plan which includes healthy lifestyle and any supplements needed.
Okay.
Simple.
Point taken.
So you write a good prompt, you will get a good answer. Now you can't just pick out the zinc and the magnesium supplements and leave aside the lifestyle. ना वो तो गलत होगा ना फिर.
Of course.
एडवाइस तो पूरी मिली है पर आपने फॉलो आधी की है तो वो तो गलत है. So as far as doctor versus ChatGPT is concerned, the basic thing is that the doctor oversight is never going to go for at least, I don't know, maybe 20-30 years, right? Until we all start acknowledging that robots are equal to humans, that we don't want to get into that debate.
Right.
Otherwise, the oversight, the sign out always has to be the doctors, no?
Right.
आपने चैट जीपीटी से ले लिया, कल को कुछ हो गया, तो आप किसको ब्लेम करोगे?
हाँ, बिल्कुल, of course.
तो फिर एक डॉक्टर से तो बात करनी पड़ेगी ना आपको.
You know, in your experience, how has the shift happened in the last 5-7 years? Because मैं जब research कर रही थी, मैंने ये समझा कि जो non-alcoholic fatty liver disease के cases हैं, वो अब ज़्यादा है alcoholic से. And जो हमारी common, you know, thought process है वो ये है कि अच्छा ये शराब पीता होगा इसीलिए इसको liver की बीमारी है. तो ये कैसे shift आ रहा है और किन कारणों की वजह से आ रहा है?
देखिए इसमें आपने बिल्कुल सही फरमाया कि there is a shift in case mix, which means if I look at 100 cases I saw 10 years ago of liver disease, liver failure, or even those who went to transplant because of liver failure, that case mix is was very different from what it is today. 10 years ago it was 30% alcoholic, 30% hepatitis B and C, maybe 10 to 15% fatty liver disease, and the remaining 20% were other diseases and unknown causes.
Okay.
Now, you're absolutely right, it's 40% non-alcoholic fatty liver.
Wow.
30% alcohol still remains, it's not gone anywhere.
Yeah.
And the remaining, the hepatitis B and C have shrunk from 30 to 10, maybe even 5. Because both of these diseases are treatable.
Treatable, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the remaining 20 remains also the same. So there has been a complete change of the reasons why people go into severe liver disease and liver failure. Now what are the reasons? Alcohol has stayed constant. But the interesting thing is that the kind of cases that present with alcoholic liver damage have also changed.
In what
You'll
way?
be so shocked to know that half the people who present with severe alcoholic issues are younger than 35 years of age.
My God.
It's not like they've been drinking for 30 years or 20 years. Some of them are even 25 years of age, 20 years of age. They've been drinking for whatever, 5-10 years, ever since they were a teenager. But binge drinking has become a big craze and a big killer, I must say.
What do you call a binge drinking? How many drinks is binge drinking?
So if you take more than 5 drinks, regular drinks, within a space of 2 hours or less, that's binge.
I know so many people who do that.
So one drink is hard liquor 30 ml. Okay? That's 1 unit of alcohol. So we talk in units, right? When you talk, because very often asked question is, Dr. Soin, how much alcohol can
Chota
I
peg,
safely
bada peg.
consume? Right?
Right.
Chota peg, bada peg is
Yeah,
like 30 ml, 60 ml or patiala peg, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't take alcohol. So, disclaimer. So, so the thing is that 30 into 5 within 2 hours is binge. And there is this peer pressure of having shots after shots and weekend binge drinking. कि हम तो मतलब, you know, we only binge couple of times a month. You know what? 2 binges in a month can pack up your liver. You don't have to be drinking for years.
Wow, this I didn't know.
2 binges in a month can pack up your liver. You can get into what's called severe acute alcoholic hepatitis. You don't even have to have a chronic disease underlying. Of course, it won't be a chronic disease in 2 binges. Chronic is something that's been happening over years.
Yeah.
Right?
So that concept where people were like, कि 20 साल से पी रहा है, 10 साल से, so that no longer is
it's
valid.
there, but there is an additional group of significantly ill people who come with binge drinking. And these are all younger people, whatever, peer pressure, stressed out, working too hard during the week, so-called partying and letting loose on the weekend, but it's really killing them. You know, so we've transplanted so many people for binge drinking induced liver failure. So many people.
You know,
So
talking about...
sorry to cut you, but
yeah, of course, please.
so I still haven't answered your original question. What brought so much fatty liver disease into people's lives? So I think that people have been living less healthy. The regular way that we, as when we were kids, used to kind of amuse ourselves was go out and play. Football, cricket, tennis, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That has completely gone. There is no go out and play. There are sports people, there are sports persons who are interested in sport, they go and play sport. 90% or most of the rest of the kids are on their computer.
Absolutely.
So that thing is one thing. Then busy parents, working hard, fast food, easy option for the kids. You give them pizzas 3 days, you give them some other junk for the rest of the 3 days or 2 days. Then you feel guilty on the weekend, then you give them healthy food. But that doesn't cut it. You see, you've already done the harm.
Right.
And that's a habit as well as accumulating toxins. So both things then tell the tale after 20-25 years. People will get fatty liver even at the age of 25. So lifestyle, lack of exercise, poor nutritional choices, and then emotional stress. Because there's a huge correlation between emotional stress and metabolic health in general and liver health in particular. And I'm a scientist, so I'm only talking science.
Right.
I'm not talking about
I mean, in Ayurveda there is a lot of conversation
Ayurvedic
around,
or Chinese medicine where, sorry, I don't want to deride those either, but I'm just saying that there are beliefs and alternative systems of medicine that liver, for example, harbors anger and hatred and all that stuff, right? So that's one side of the story. But what I mean is, the side that I mean is emotional stress causing liver inflammation. That's what I'm talking about. That's all scientific.
Technically, what exactly happens? Let's say I have a lot of stress right now, and I mean, what exactly happens to the body in the absence of both stress and, like, in the presence of stress and the absence of sleep? What exactly happens technically in the body or the liver, rather?
So let me break it down into simple to understand bits. So stress में क्या होता है कि there is a thing called HPA, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Hypothalamus and pituitary are all in the brain. So जो stress होता है brain से, that travels down to adrenal, जहाँ से हमारा cortisol बनता है, जो steroid बनता है. Cortisol के होने से inflammatory जो substances हैं body में बढ़ जाती हैं. तो उससे इन्फ्लेमेशन हर जगह होती है, लिवर में भी होती है, ठीक है. तो एक तो ये है कि डायरेक्ट कोरिलेशन है इमोशनल स्ट्रेस का और लिवर इन्फ्लेमेशन का.
ठीक है.
दूसरा है कि इट हैज़ बीन शोन दैट इमोशनल स्ट्रेस से गट की परमेबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है, इंटेस्टाइन की परमेबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है, तो हार्मफुल सब्सटेंसेस कीप गेटिंग एब्जॉर्ब्ड इनटू द सर्कुलेशन.
वो सारा लोड लिवर पे आएगा.
वो सारा लोड लिवर पे आएगा. लिवर में तो फर्स्ट पास होता है, जो भी आपके खाना पचता है या बेकार की चीज़ें पचती हैं वो सारी लिवर में जाती हैं, तो वहाँ टॉक्सिन्स जाते हैं सारे. तो ये दो साइंटिफिक फैक्ट्स हैं. वी आर नॉट इवन डेल्विंग इनटू द नॉन साइंस, राइट?
Got it. I now want to shift the conversation a little.
Okay.
To cirrhosis of liver.
Okay.
I personally know so many people who had fatty liver, did not bother, and they suddenly slid to cirrhotic liver. पता ही नहीं चला कब हो गया. तो my first part of the question is कि अगर मुझे आज fatty liver मान लो grade 3 है, तो मुझे क्या करना चाहिए ताकि मेरा liver cirrhotic ना बने? और दूसरा question है कि अगर cirrhosis हो गया है तो फिर क्या वहाँ से तो रिवर्स नहीं हो सकती बहुत सारी चीज़ें, तो फिर क्या करा जाए?
तो देखिए, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया था जब आपने पूछा था फैटी लिवर के बारे में और उसको प्रिवेंट कैसे किया जाए, एंड वी आल्सो हैड अ कन्वर्सेशन अबाउट व्हाई पीपल आर गेटिंग फैटी लिवर. सो ऑल ऑफ दोज parts of the conversation were about why people get fatty liver and what sort of people need to suspect that they might have fatty liver. तो प्रिवेंशन उसी में है, सारा प्रिवेंशन उसी में है कि आपको डायबिटीज़ डिटेक्ट होनी चाहिए, डिटेक्टेड है, कंट्रोल्ड है तो ठीक है, नहीं कंट्रोल्ड है तो कंट्रोल्ड होनी चाहिए. लिपिड्स को कंट्रोल करना आसान है लाइफस्टाइल से और मेडिसिन से. जो लिपिड्स को कंट्रोल, लिपिड्स कोलेस्ट्रॉल होते हैं, ट्राइग्लिसराइड्स, कोलेस्ट्रॉल्स, तो उसको कंट्रोल करने की जो मेडिसिन है वो इतनी हार्मफुल नहीं होती है. उनकी जो हार्म होती है वो 1%, 2% होती है, बट दैट इज हाइप्ड अप.
एक्चुअली स्टैटिन्स के तो बहुत साइड इफेक्ट्स की रिसर्चेस हो रही हैं.
बट मैम, statins save lives.
We
That
had
is the
somebody
thing.
who debated on that.
Yeah. I mean, see, if you take it as a lifestyle drug, then there is a debate.
Of course.
But if your LDL is like 180, where is the debate? You have to take a statin, right? तो अगर जो देखिए, अगर सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ ये है कि मैंने चैट जीपीटी के बारे में बोल तो दिया, लेकिन आई वॉज इम्प्लाइंग मोर ऑफ अ लाइफ स्टाइल काइंड ऑफ रिकमेंडेशन एंड सप्लीमेंट रिकमेंडेशन. बट जहाँ तक स्टैटिन्स और ड्रग्स का सवाल है, उसके लिए तो आपको डॉक्टर के बिना 1 इंच भी मूव नहीं करना चाहिए. तो यू हैव टू गो टू अ स्पेशलिस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड whether you need a statin or not if your lipid profile is deranged. अगर लिपिड प्रोफाइल ख़राब है तो स्टैटिन से कंट्रोल करने से आपकी लाइफ प्रोलॉन्ग हो सकती है, आपकी स्ट्रोक बच सकती है, आपकी हार्ट डिजीज़ बच सकती है. तो ये तो बिल्कुल गलत सोचना है कि स्टैटिन नहीं लेना चाहिए उनको जिनको ज़रूरत है. पर अगर वो लाइफस्टाइल के मेडिसिन के हिसाब से ले रहे हैं तो थोड़ा सा there is a catch there, and there is a fine line dividing use and abuse, right? So again, coming back to fatty liver, so lifestyle control kariye, which means obviously better diet, regular exercise, and control your triglycerides and cholesterols, control diabetes, and control your weight, and don't take any alcohol, and then your fatty liver can start to reverse. The fatty liver can reverse the inflammation. भी सूजन जो है लिवर में, हेपेटाइटिस है फैटी लिवर की वजह से, वो भी कम हो सकता है. लेकिन जब फाइब्रोसिस होता है, यानी कि अर्ली स्कारिंग हो जाती है, तो फिर डेंजर जोन में आ गए आप. F1 जो फाइब्रोसिस है वो तो कभी कभी रिवर्स हो जाता है, लेकिन जब F2, F3 फाइब्रोसिस हो गया उसके बाद तो सिरोसिस बनेगा. सिरोसिस एडवांस्ड फाइब्रोसिस को ही बोलते हैं, जब स्कारिंग ज़्यादा हो जाती है उसको सिरोसिस बोलते हैं. अब सिरोसिस को रिवर्स करना तो पॉसिबल नहीं है. हाँ, ऐसा है कि सिरोसिस वाले लिवर में भी जगह जगह अलग अलग चीज़ चल रही होती है. कहीं पूरा F5 फाइब्रोसिस है, F4 है या F5 है, और किसी जगह में F2 है तो उसका 1 हो सकता है, 1 है तो थोड़ा ठीक हो सकता है, तो थोड़ा लिवर इम्प्रूव हो सकता है,
स्टेबल करवाया जा सकता है
जी. पर सिरोसिस ठीक हो जाएगा, ये ऐसी दवाई तो बनी नहीं है अभी.
तो मान लीजिए सिरोसिस अब हो गया है
जी,
और ऑफ कोर्स यू स्पोकन अबाउट एवरीथिंग रिलेटेड टू डाइट एंड न्यूट्रिशन. अगर मुझे आज सिरोसिस है, मान लीजिए मेरा चाइल्ड सिरोसिस है या चाइल्ड भी है, मैं बहुत सारे लोगों को जानती हूँ जो बहुत वेट करते हैं ट्रांसप्लांट के लिए कि नहीं अभी तो ख़राब नहीं हुआ है, अभी तो ख़राब नहीं हुआ है. और मेरा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस भी है. बहुत ऐसा टाइम था जब हमें कन्फ्यूजन थी, क्योंकि हमारा मेल्ट स्कोर 13 से 15 के बीच में रहता था, तो हमें नहीं समझ में आता था कि कब हमें ट्रांसप्लांट के लिए जाना चाहिए. तो आई वॉन्ट यू टू मेक पीपल अंडरस्टैंड कि किस टाइम पर एक ट्रांसप्लांट के लिए जाना चाहिए, बोथ फ्रॉम अ पैरामीटर पर्सपेक्टिव, फ्रॉम अ सिम्टोमेटिक पर्सपेक्टिव, और क्या क्या मेजर्स लेने चाहिए उसके लिए.
जी. सो देखिए, ट्रांसप्लांट की जो इंडिकेशन, हम इसको मेडिकल टर्म्स में इंडिकेशन बोलते हैं. कोई भी अगर सर्जरी करना है तो सर्जरी कब इंडिकेटेड है, इसका मतलब कब करनी चाहिए.
हाँ.
तो जो इंडिकेशंस हैं ट्रांसप्लांट के, वो तो इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी में काफ़ी क्लियर है. जो हम लोग लिवर एक्सपर्ट्स पूरी दुनिया में सारे कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में मिलते हैं, हम लोग कुछ गाइडलाइंस बना के बैठे हैं. दोज आर वेरी क्लियर. दोज हैव टू डू विद 2 kinds of scoring systems. One is called CTP.
What is that?
It's eponymous after the people who
Okay.
devised it. So child, turcotte, pug.
Okay.
You don't need to know that.
Okay, yeah.
And the other one is MELD. So MELD score is Model for End Stage Liver Disease. That's what MELD stands for. तो MELD और CTP जो हैं वो कुछ सिम्टम्स, कुछ साइंस और कुछ ब्लड टेस्ट पे डिपेंड करते हैं. तो पेट में पानी है कि नहीं, असाइटिस बोलते हैं उसको, एल्ब्यूमिन लेवल कितना है, प्रोथ्रोम्बिन टाइम कितना है, ये सब ब्लड टेस्ट होते हैं. बिलिरुबिन लेवल कितना है और क्रिएटिनिन लेवल कितना है. तो ये, और फिर लिवर फेलियर का इफेक्ट ब्रेन पे आया है कि नहीं, HE बोलते हैं उसको, हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी. तो ये सारे जो पैरामीटर्स हैं ये CTP और MELD स्कोर में देखे जाते हैं. तो इनके हिसाब से अगर 8 CTP स्कोर हो जाए और 14 से ज़्यादा MELD हो जाए तो फिर इस वक्त ट्रांसप्लांट का सोचना चाहिए, बिकॉज द सर्वाइवल विथ अ ट्रांसप्लांट ऑफ सच पेशेंट्स इज फार बेटर देन विदाउट अ ट्रांसप्लांट. दैट इज द लॉजिक. सो अगर कोई पेशेंट है, कोई इंसान है जिनका मेल्ट स्कोर 15 है, उनको क्रॉनिक लिवर डिजीज है, तो उनका 1 year सर्वाइवल इज अबाउट 60 to 65%. यानी द चांसेस दैट ही विल बी अलाइव आफ्टर अ ईयर इज 60 or 65%. And the chances with a transplant are more than 90%. So that's where transplant starts scoring over non-transplant treatment. That's the logic. आप कहेंगे डॉक्टर साहब ऐसी क्या बात है कि क्यों हम 15 पे कराएं? वो इसलिए कराएं क्योंकि लाखों पेशेंट्स की स्टडीज़ में देखा गया है कि जो इनका स्कोर 15 है उससे ज़्यादा है, वो उनका चांसेस ऑफ सर्वाइवल विद ट्रांसप्लांट, ऑफ कोर्स इन अ गुड प्लेस, इज मच मोर देन विदाउट अ ट्रांसप्लांट. एंड एज द मेल्ट स्कोर राइजेस, 15 का 18 हुआ, 18 से 20 हुआ, 22 हुआ, उतना ही ये गैप पड़ता जाता है
बिल्कुल
बिटवीन सर्वाइवल. लाइक ट्रांसप्लांट से 90% प्लस एंड बिना के 50%, 40%, 30%, डिपेंडिंग ऑन अगर मेल्ट बढ़ता जा रहा है तो, यू नो.
और आई थिंक मेल्ट कई बार बहुत जल्दी बढ़ता है, तो
कई बार जल्दी बढ़ता है,
विंडो बहुत छोटी होती है,
पर सारा चीज़ मेल्ट और CTP पे डिपेंड नहीं करता है. Actually, there are at least 10 reasons outside of what is counted in MELD and CTP for having or not having a transplant. अब ये तो डॉक्टर को ही समझ में आ सकता है, क्योंकि you have to put everything together.
Right, of course.
है ना? अब डायूरेटिक है. डायूरेटिक होता है एक मेडिसिन जिस पेशेंट को पानी भरता है पेट में, उनको दी जाती है. अब डायूरेटिक इंड्यूस्ड नेफ्रोपैथी मीन्स कि डायूरेटिक से किडनी को डैमेज हो गया. अगर डायूरेटिक दवाई नहीं देते हैं तो पेट में पानी अक्यूमुलेट हो रहा है, और देते हैं तो पानी तो खाली हो रहा है, लेकिन बिटवीन 3 to 4 months किडनी डैमेज शुरू हो जाता है. एक्चुअली डैमेज तो विद इन 2 weeks ही शुरू हो जाता है, पर वो पता तब लगता है जब क्रिएटिनिन बढ़ती है. तो अब ये चीज़ एक एंगल है. दूसरा एंगल है कि बार बार ब्लीडिंग हो रही है, तो उसके लिए एंडोस्कोपी से उसको रोकना पड़ रहा है. तीसरा एंगल है कि हार्ट का प्रेशर बढ़ रहा है. चौथा एंगल है कि ब्रीदिंग डिफिकल्टी आ रही है क्योंकि ऑक्सीजनेशन नहीं हो रही है. ये सारी चीज़ें मेल्ट और CTP में तो है नहीं है. तो ये सारी चीज़ें डॉक्टरों को देखनी पड़ती हैं. डॉक्टरों को मेल्ट और CTP भी देखना पड़ता है. तो दैट इज़ वाई Dr. Google and Dr. ChatGPT or Dr. Perplexity or whatever, they cannot be the ideal doctors.
Of course. I want to understand how should one choose a hospital for their transplant? And I was also reading कि cadaveric transplants ज़्यादा साउथ इंडिया में होते हैं, नॉर्थ इंडिया में नहीं इतने होते. तो पहला क्वेश्चन है कि कैसे डिसाइड करें कि किस हॉस्पिटल में जाके हमें ट्रांसप्लांट करवाना है, और दूसरा कि क्यों यहाँ पर कैडावरिक ट्रांसप्लांट्स नहीं हो रहे इतने.
देखिए, मैं आपको ऑब्वियसली आई वर्क फॉर अ सर्टेन हॉस्पिटल, आई एम एट मेदांता, सो आई विल ट्राई एंड गिव यू अ न्यूट्रल आंसर, राइट. सो द बेस्ट हॉस्पिटल टू गो टू फॉर अ ट्रांसप्लांट वुड बी वेयर अ लॉट ऑफ द बॉक्सेस आर टिक्ड. यानी कि जो चीज़ें चाहिए होती हैं एक सक्सेसफुल ट्रांसप्लांट के लिए वो हैं. ऑफ कोर्स द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट ऑफ दोज इज़ द टीम. कि टीम के सर्जन्स को, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दे शुड बी अ मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी टीम. इट्स नॉट ओनली अनफ कि एक सर्जन है एक्सपीरियंस, लेकिन आगे पीछे की टीम नहीं है.
बिल्कुल, वो
तो हेपेटोलॉजिस्ट का होना ज़रूरी है, क्रिटिकल केयर स्पेशलिस्ट का होना ज़रूरी है, एक अच्छे एनेस्थेटिस्ट का होना ज़रूरी है. ये 4 कोर मेंबर्स होते हैं लिवर ट्रांसप्लांट टीम के: सर्जन, हेपेटोलॉजिस्ट, क्रिटिकल केयर स्पेशलिस्ट एंड एनेस्थेटिस्ट. सो द टीम शुड बी गुड एंड एक्सपीरियंस्ड. जहाँ पे हाई वॉल्यूम्स होते हैं उन्होंने हर तरह के केस देखे होते हैं, हर तरह की कॉम्प्लिकेशन को मैनेज किया होता है. तो इसलिए हाई वॉल्यूम सेंटर में जाना चाहिए. क्योंकि किसी ने अगर 5,000 केस किए हैं, किसी ने 50 केस किए हैं, तो 50 में उन्होंने उतना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं पाया है, उतने प्रॉब्लम्स को डील नहीं किया है जितना हमने 5,000 में किया है. सो ये फ़र्क है वॉल्यूम्स का. Apart from that, what difference does a volume make? Volume helps the surgeon to hone their skills as far as possible to the peak, right? So honing the team skills, the surgical skills, having dealt with all cases which are difficult, having dealt with all the problems, that is what volume gives you. तो you have to go not just for liver transplants, किसी भी surgery के लिए high volume center में जाना चाहिए.
Understand.
Then, so team, high volume, then you have to see the results and outcomes. So unfortunately, India में public is not given the access to outcomes in a neutral fashion.
Yeah.
आप हॉस्पिटल में जाते हैं तो आपको बोलते हैं हमारे रिजल्ट्स बेस्ट हैं, आप नेक्स्ट हॉस्पिटल में जाते हैं बोलते हैं हमारे रिजल्ट्स बेस्ट हैं.
That's exactly why I asked this question because लोग बहुत कंफ्यूज रहते हैं.
ठीक है ना. देखिए मैं आई एम ट्राइंग टू गिव यू अ न्यूट्रल आंसर, राइट? सो now it is true that transplant results are submitted to the government by every transplant hospital, but public does not have access to it. आपको नहीं पता है, मतलब जो हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री के अंदर बैठे हैं उनको पता है, लेकिन आपके पास वो इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है. तो somehow you have to find out where the best results are.
Understand. And what is the average success ratio of a transplant, liver transplant in India?
So like I said, we do not have access to other people's success rates. We have access to our own. We are currently running at 96% success, which means out of 100 patients admitted, I'm talking about the last about 1,000 transplants we've done. We've been able to discharge 96 out of the 100.
Wow.
Okay, happy and doing okay. And donor safety for living donors is 99.99%. The 0.01% risk is the same that you and I have when we're walking on the road or driving a car or sitting in a plane, God forbid. So that is the success rate, right? But it still means we unfortunately do lose 3-4% patients. And for those patients who are lost, it's a very sad story.
I wanted to touch upon
but there is no 100% anywhere in the world, unfortunately.
I wanted to touch upon the difference between the cadaveric liver transplants and the live donor transplant, and the same question, why is it not so much in North India?
So cadaver transplant or deceased donor transplant means that somebody who is brain dead, so regular people who die a normal cardiac death, which means their heart stops, their pulse stops and their breathing stops at home, on the road or in hospital, they can't be organ donors. They can only donate eyes within 6 hours of the heart stopping. But people who die a brain death, which is 1% of all deaths, in ICUs, specifically neuro ICUs, they die of road traffic accident with brain injury, they die of a stroke, drowning. So these kind of people who die a brain death, where the brain gets so badly damaged that it's dead, cannot be revived, and when the brain is dead, the body is dead, right? These people are in neuro ICU on life support. ये लोग अपने अगर ऑर्गन डोनेट करें, ऑब्वियसली इनके जो नेक्स्ट ऑफ किन है, फैमिली वाले अगर ऑर्गन डोनेट करें, तो उसको डिसीज डोनर ट्रांसप्लांट जो ऑर्गन्स के लिए होता है, बाकी ऑर्गन्स के लिए आइज़ को छोड़ के उनके लिए यूज़ किया जा सकता है, फॉर लिवर, हार्ट, लंग्स, किडनीज, सो ऑन. तो इनके जो डोनेशन रेट्स इन इंडिया आर वेरी लो कंपेयर टू द डेवलप्ड वेस्ट. Sadly, our donation rates are not even 1 per million, about 0.8 per million right now. And USA में है 46 per million, just for context. Spain में है 58 per million.
Yeah, I think they to do it by default.
So, and UK में है, for example, 28 per million or 30 per million. So, हमारा 0.8 भी नहीं है. तो आप सोच लीजिए, अगर इससे अगर हमें 30 गुना हो जाए, तो हमारे ट्रांसप्लांट 30 गुना बढ़ जाएंगे. सो वो तो है नहीं. अब वो भी डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री में डिफरेंट लेवल है. नॉर्थ इंडिया में वेरी सैड टू से दैट द डोनेशन रेट्स आर द लीस्ट इन द एंटायर कंट्री. And hence the deceased donor transplants are less, and hence living donor transplants are higher. तो साउथ में और वेस्ट में, like specifically गुजरात, महाराष्ट्र, in the west and south में सारे states में, the donation rates are, in some cities they are even 2.53 per million. But national हमारा जो average है वो 0.8 पड़ता है.
That's very low actually.
Yeah, it's very very low.
Very low. That brings me to the next question. If you were to change one policy related to liver, what would that change be?
You mean as government?
Government policy, yeah, of course, government policy.
Liver. Or you mean deceased donation? Or do you mean only liver?
Just anything under the...
So I think that let's talk about all transplants in general, because Transplants are life-saving operations for patients who are dying of any organ failure, be it heart, lung, liver, kidney, whatever, right? So the current policy of the government is very strong and pro. They have a organization which is very active, which is called NATO, National Organ Transplant Tissue and Transplantation Organization, right? National Organ Tissue and Transplantation Organization, NATO. It's based in Delhi, and it has regional and state divisions. They're called SOTO and ROTO, and so they are very active. But the only thing which has been missing in the governmental effort is that there are no large-scale, massive organ donor awareness programs. How often have you gone on roads in airports and or anywhere or even on media where you've seen advertisements or call-outs which talk about organ donation from the government? Very few.
Agreed. But I think there's a lot of cultural misconception around
But how will that go?
मेरे अगले जन्म में ये
आपको कैसे लगता है वो कैसे जाएगा?
Of course, there has to be a rational awareness.
हम आपको बताएं, इनको बताएं, एक-एक करके लोग को तो बता नहीं सकते हो ना?
बिल्कुल.
There have to be mass campaigns.
Right.
अब स्कूल के करिकुला में अब ऑर्गन डोनेशन आया है.
Wow. But at least we started somewhere. I think that's
40 साल पहले आना चाहिए था या जब भी आना चाहिए था. ड्राइविंग लाइसेंसेस में अभी भी ऑर्गन डोनेशन की ऑप्शन क्लियरली नहीं आई है. बट अगर आप यूएसए में, यूके में, यूरोप में कहीं पे भी ड्राइविंग लाइसेंसेस देखेंगे तो एक टिक होता है, आई वांट टू बी एन ऑर्गन डोनर. सिंपल. दैट मीन्स दैट यू आर एक्सप्रेसिंग योर विश व्हाइल यू आर लिविंग. फिर क्या होता है कि फैमिली से पूछा भी जाए तो उनको बोला जाता है, देखिए योर नियर एंड डियर, योर लव्ड वन वांटेड टू डोनेट ऑर्गन्स व्हेन शी वाज लिविंग और व्हेन ही वाज लिविंग. So that really tilts the decision in the favor of organ donation. Even though organ donation is not very common in India for deceased donors, but living donation is, we are really at the top of the world. And literally when I say that, I mean it. Nobody does more living donor liver transplants than India in the entire world, including US, Korea, anywhere.
Wow.
So we do the maximum. We do close to 3,000 plus 3,000 to 3,200 living donor liver transplants every year.
Every year, wow. I'm guessing that's still a very
small number.
Small number in comparison to how many people
get liver failure. Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Just the absence of live donor. I mean, we have small structures, nuclear families, one has to run the business. I mean, if two people in the family will be on the bed, then it's going to be a mess. So I think we do need that.
So there are a lot of myths and misconceptions around living donor liver transplantation. So first let me explain the concept. The concept is that liver has a lot of reserve, which we discussed earlier. And it also has the amazing quality to regenerate. Which means that if you remove half the liver of a healthy person, then they will be left with the other half, which is quite enough because I said it has a lot of reserve.
Right.
So even if you leave 30% behind, they'll still have normal function in the body. And the second thing is regeneration. Within 2.5 months, this 30 will again become 100. So they lose nothing.
But that's actually at till a certain age, right? I think
it regenerates
earlier.
So beyond 55, 60, the regeneration capacity reduces, but it never goes to zero.
Zero, okay.
It just reduces from 100 to a 80 or a 70.
Right. So you're saying that it does happen, but maybe take a little more while.
So let's put it this way: if there's a living donor transplant done and the donor is like 55 years old versus 40 versus 70. We don't take 70. We actually stop at 55. But a 40-year-old will regenerate their liver, let's say, in 2.5 months. And this 55-year-old may take 4 months, and only 90% regeneration may happen compared to 100. And in a 70-year-old, maybe 70% will happen in 6 months. So that's the thing. It's not like it doesn't happen.
But you're saying that
it's just slower and lesser.
She will have like a good, healthy life.
Yes, of course. We operate on people who are 70, 75 for their own problems. Like they have a liver tumor in one part, so we remove that part, it grows back. They're not they're not people, they're not candidates for liver donation, but people have surgery for themselves, right? The livers regenerate. So that's the thing, that liver has a regeneration quality, which is why we use living donors for donation, because a family person, spouse or child or parent or brother, sister, cousin, uncle, aunt, anybody from the family can donate half their liver to a person suffering from liver failure, and then they will grow that liver back in about 2 to 3 months. And the person to whom that liver is given, we remove that person's bad liver entirely. And this new liver will also grow to the person's normal liver size within the same time. So it regenerates in the donor as well as in the patient, in the recipient.
I've seen people with like fresh, fair skin after having a lot of scaly skin after the transplant. So
that is correct. That is absolutely true. Liver transplant is a very dramatically life-changing operation. It's a life-saving operation and life-changing as well. So what typically happens is that there are some myths around it. One is that people say that, we don't want the husband and wife both to be ill, then what will happen to the kids? But actually nobody is that ill. Recipient is ill, obviously, but the donor is discharged in 5 or 6 days. And they rest at home for 10 days and they're normal in 15 days, back to normal in a month, no medicines after that. And they grow back their liver and they live normal lives. And they can have kids, women, men, whatever, get married, play sports, do everything. Live normal lives, basically. So there's a misconception that something will happen to the donor and they may not be able to live normal lives. There's this little stigma: if women donate who are not married, then there will be a problem there. So people look at it differently, but honestly, in nearly 5,000 transplants, 70% of them have been women as donors. We're not going to dwell why. And I've never had anyone come back and tell me that they had a problem either to conceive or to get married or...
Thank you so much for telling this.
So
While you were talking about it, in my head I could count like 10 people who would actually say that. So thank you so much for telling this, because I think it is a very big... And I'm talking about people who are educated, have good intellect, they also kind of end up saying the same thing.
And now we do robotic surgery. So donor surgery is now done robotically, which means that instead of the big cut across the front of the tummy, they will have 4 small little holes, each about 8 to 10 millimeters, through which the surgery is done. And there's a small cut which is about 3 to 4 inches above the pubic bone, below the belt, through which the liver is removed. So there's no big gash across the front of the tummy. And that cut is small, so the pain is less, recovery is faster. There's no muscle cut there. There is muscle cutting here, which is avoided. So people love robotic liver donor surgery, and 80% of my donors have robotic. They choose robotic surgery. Yeah. And the remaining 20% have open because it financially costs a little more. That's the reason. Otherwise, everybody wants robotic surgery.
Since we're talking about robotics, I want to also discuss the future of surgeries. I was reading about stem cells.
Sure.
Talk us a little bit about stem cells. क्या होता है उसमें, or where do you see the future of liver transplants from here?
So, those are two separate questions. Future of liver transplant and stem cells. Now, stem cells are basically cells which have the potential of developing into any system cell. Like a true stem cell will be where it can grow into a liver cell or a kidney cell or a heart cell, whatever. So the logic is that you inject stem cells into the organ or into the bloodstream, and they go and home into that particular organ where you want you want them to develop and replace damaged cells. And then they will replace the damaged cells as the new cells of that organ. But the problem is they don't home in well, they don't stay alive for a long time. So that is why this is still an area of research. But coming to what will happen to liver transplants, for that matter, any organ transplants, I think that most people don't know that 90% of heart disease, 90% of liver and kidney disease, it's all preventable. Preventable. Need not happen. So if everyone prevented liver disease, then only 10% of the transplants that are done or needed to be done would be done.
Ideally, that should be the future of transplant.
Yeah, that should be the future of liver transplant.
Absolutely.
That is why I want to take care of the preventive side also.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So,
are you doing something about it right now?
yeah,
Or do you want to share something
I'm basically
about it?
what I'm going to do is, what I'm doing is, I'm putting a team together of physicians and lifestyle physicians, longevity experts, nutritionists, fitness experts, psychologists, sleep medicine experts.
Wow.
So putting the whole thing together to give a 360-degree kind of offering to people, which is deep science backed. I'm a scientist, and technology and AI backed, and with some traditional wisdom,
Right.
because we are good at that in India, and give them a 360-degree holistic, physical, mental, social, and spiritual health.
Wow,
So
that's very
that's-
interesting.
so
Count
that's-
us in if you want any.
So that's something that
inputs. But yeah, that's very
putting
interesting.
together in the sense that I mean, obviously I remain a surgeon, but we'll have a team that will do this,
Okay.
and I'll be very interested and participate in it in every way, scientifically,
Right.
every other way, to the extent possible.
Yeah.
We all have interests outside of our regular work, so this is it for me.
That's very interesting to know.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to know. With this, I'm going to ask you a few questions for which you just answer in one word. It's called the rapid fire.
Oh, it's the rapid fire.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the
right.
Karan Johar's one, but yeah, an interesting one. So the first one is coffee for liver, yes or no?
Yes.
One habit you wish every Indian followed.
Sleep 8 hours every night.
Tough one. Transplants, are they high risk or do they actually have genuine results?
Transplants have genuine good results in expert hands.
Fair enough. We got like a few questions from our audience. These are some of the common questions or common problems that they've had. And I think a few of these we've already covered, so we can probably skip that if you want. But I'm
Sure.
going to start with the first one.
Sure.
And this is also the last segment. So, yeah. So the first one is my dad has stage 2 non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. He eats clean and currently has his health in place. At what stage should we plan a transplant?
If he only has grade 2 fatty liver and he's living a good balanced existence with the healthy lifestyle choices, you have to make sure that he does not have cirrhosis, or if he does have early cirrhosis, does not have advanced cirrhosis. And unless he has advanced cirrhosis, and a liver specialist will tell you that, he does not need a transplant in the foreseeable future. So forget about transplant for now.
Got it. The second one is my LFT values are deranged. I am diabetic. What can I do for my liver? I'm not alcoholic.
So the best thing you can do for your liver is have a diabetic diet, a well-controlled diabetic diet. And if that doesn't cut it, then please take medicines for diabetes, oral medicines or insulin as needed by the advice of your diabetes specialist. And controlling diabetes, controlling your weight, and also check your lipids, controlling them if they are deranged, will do your liver a world of good.
Got it. The third one is I am fatty liver grade 2. I've left alcohol now. By when can I see results? And can I reverse this completely?
So this again seems like a grade 2 fatty liver on ultrasound, right? And if fatty liver is all he has, then it may take 6 months to even 2 years to show maximum effects of coming off alcohol. But please add healthy lifestyle choices and this will happen faster. I can't promise you that will reverse completely, but it will certainly go down from grade 3 to 2 or 2 to 1. And in some places in your liver, you may have no fat at all. So overall, you'll benefit by leaving alcohol and having healthy lifestyle choices.
Got it. And the last one is my father has been advised a transplant. I want to know what are the survival rates. He's currently in stage 2 and age 59.
So I don't understand stage 2 because I'm not sure what stage you're what.
Maybe they're referring to child B.
So that's right. If they're referring to child's ABC, then he seems to be in B.
B, yeah.
And let's assume that's what this person means. So if a person is child's B cirrhosis and they've been advised a transplant, the success rates of such a transplant in experienced hands will be upwards of 95%.
Wow. So age also has a very large role to play.
So the oldest patient I've transplanted is she was just shy of 80. She actually celebrated her 80th birthday 1 week after transplant.
Okay. Wow.
While in hospital. It was actually just a couple of days later she was discharged.
Okay.
So we've operated on people from 2 months of age to 80 years of age.
Wow.
But people even older have had surgeries elsewhere in the world. I'm told in Canada there's some 87-year-old who had a liver transplant. So, so age is a number, and if you're healthy otherwise, then you could be a candidate for a liver transplant even at 75 or 80.
Got it. Understand. So with this, we are ending the podcast. I think it was a lovely experience to have you. I think
very nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
But thank you so much. I think that was a very detailed one. I learned so many things from you. So thank you so much for coming.